Hi Cancer, welcome to your March 2025 AstroTarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you, and I just want to say thank you so much for continuing to be a member. With that said, my lunar brothers and sisters, remember, whenever I'm talking about astrology, I'm talking about tropical Western whole sign astrology. And for those of you that would like to know, if you're only going to watch one of these, make sure it's for your ascendant. It's going to be the most accurate on that day-to-day level. Now, with that said, I will also say to you, if I ever forget to give you the dates, if I ever forget to give you the degrees, please don't worry or panic. Just go to the description. It will all be there. All right. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to give these a shuffle. And pop these to the side, and these as well. These will be for your lunations. I'll just throw them all over the place. All right, so the first transit that I want to explore for you is Venus is going to go retrograde in your 10th house. She's going to retrograde at 10 degrees in the sign of Aries. For you, this is in your 10th house, right? Venus begins that retrograde in your house of career, reputation, your public life, your most public facing self, also your social status and authority figures in your life. This transit is inviting you to really reconsider how you show up in the world and whether your professional life really aligns with your values, like what you believe, how you believe it, all of that kind of stuff. Yes, for sure. But more than that, old opportunities might come back to the fore right now, giving you a chance to either revisit or maybe even refine them in some way. Now, Venus for you also rules your 4th house of home, family, property and real estate. And she also rules your 11th house, which is the gains that you get from your business. This might see considerations of, is what I'm doing worth what I'm getting out of it? So there might be some considerations around that for the longer term. It might also be that you start thinking about, because remember your 4th house is your emotional security and stability. It's your home, family, property, real estate, how you live there. Does your work life really reflect who you are? Is it giving you time to really feel at home either in the world or in your body? Is it helping you regulate and navigate your emotions? These are all things that you'll be considering at this time. Now for this, you've got the 5 of Swords. Be careful about reigniting old arguments. With the Queen of Pentacles, usually an earth sign woman, Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. And you've got this with the Hermit card. So it could be that there's an argument or a dispute or a disagreement with an earth sign woman. And this could be on or around the career, but it could just as easily be about your home and your living situation. This could be somebody that's also a friend as well, right? So these are things to consider. Now, outside of this being about a person, this could be that somebody calls you on your work-life balance and says to you, look, you know what, you talk about having a work-life balance, you don't actually have one. Where is the time that you have to look after yourself? Where is the time for you to, do you know what I mean? It's like someone that's older than you, maybe slightly wiser or maybe a lot wiser, who knows, you know, maybe really gives you a reality check of some sort to say, actually, you know what, maybe you're not looking after yourself as best as you possibly could. With that Hermit card as well, it does give you, it's going to give you a moment where you pause for thought on the career. And this is, excuse me, this is a good thing because it's going to help you really discover what is actually important to you as and when it comes to your career or your vocation. Now, for those of you that are, when it comes to on the 12th of the month, Saturn is going to come into a conjunction with the Sun. This is a Saturn Cazimi in your 9th house of home. No, it's not. This is a Saturn Cazimi in your 9th house of higher learning, belief system, right? What you believe, how you believe it. It's in the ancient astrology, this was called the house of God, right? This is how you connect to the cosmos, the routines and rituals that you have, the religion that you study or abide by. All of that's ninth house stuff, as well as publishing, YouTube channels. All of that kind of stuff is very ninth house. It's also very third house in a way as well, actually, and 10th house, because it's very public. But yeah, it's a very ninth house thing. Now, because it's in the sign of Pisces, there will be a deeply introspective part, like sort of slant or leaning to this transit. It's really helping you, or encouraging you actually, to think about like your personal ideas or philosophies, what your learning has done for you up until this moment. And Saturn's influence here is really giving you, it's the hard work, right? It's the discipline, and it's really asking you, like, what knowledge and information do you need to turn your goals, your aspirations and dreams into real tangible results? Now, Saturn for you rules your 8th house of other people's resources, and Saturn for you also rules your 7th house of partners, relationships, significant others, business connections as well. And so at this time, something around a connection could be illuminated to you, and this is where you have to decide whether it's really worth the hard work and effort or not. Now, it is highlighting, it's going to highlight to you how your belief systems are really shaping your world, and whether that's for the for the better or the worst as well. Like, think about how, like, whatever you're starting to really envision at this time for yourself, with real honest sincerity and effort and discipline and focus, it might take time in order for it to, because remember, the 9th house is a future house, right? So it looks towards the 10th house. So it's like, let me get these skills and these things so that I can gain the honors out there in the world and, flourish in my career. This might be stuff that is hard to come by, that takes a time to get, but it will absolutely give, one thing that I love about Saturn is if you put in the sweat, it will give you the rewards. Now, this Cazimi is in a really nice trine to Mars, which is newly direct at this point. Well, I say not newly direct. It's been direct for a while at this point in your sign, right? Well, certainly for about 2-ish weeks, right? So this is a really nice connection because it brings that emotional fortitude that you want. It's going to provide you with the emotional strength and that tenacious kind of, I'm fucking having this, it's mine, right? It's going to help you really think about exploring some ways to expand your horizons, and it's going to help you find a lot more clarity and maybe even put in a structure of some sort in order to make these things happen. Now, for this, you've got the Page of Wands, so there's important messages are coming in at this time with the 9 of Cups that are truly going to make your heart sing, and the 4 of Swords. One thing that I want to say to you is, around this time, so the 11th, 12th and 13th of the month, I want you to just be... I want you to be extra open to the messages that can come through from the universe at this time. I also want you to be fully aware and aligned to the fact that there could be some really wonderful energy coming in your creative energy or auric field, and that could really create something that truly opens doors for you, or maybe even someone gives you a leg up or a platform or an assist in some way, shape or form. So love that for you. Okay, for your next transit, as if that wasn't enough, the North Node is going to come into a conjunction with the Sun in your 9th house, right? This happens on the 18th of the month. It's a pretty big deal because we haven't had this for 18 years, and we won't have and you'll only have one more before the nodes move, right? So this is it, right? You get this, and then the next time that the nodes shift back round to Pisces and Virgo, it will be the South Node here. So it's going to be a really interesting time. Now, the Sun's meeting with the North Node in that 9th house there is a fated or sort of destiny kind of energy to this, and it's bringing you an insatiable need to grow, to explore, to expand your horizons. Hopefully this would be through travel and study, but if that's not possible, it could be a spiritual breakthrough. It could also be that opportunities present themselves for you to connect with people in foreign lands, different places, people that are very different to you in background or stature or belief systems, etc. And yet it could be deeply nourishing for you. Now, the sun for you in your chart rules your second house of money, rules the second house of finance and resources. So this could be an amplification of knowledge that's shared with you, or maybe even opportunities that open up for you that could be very lucrative for you in some regard. There's a potential fated encounter with like a mentor, a teacher, a coach, or a guru, maybe even somebody again from like a foreign background. And this connection could really help you take whatever you're learning or ideas are to the next level. Like if you've ever wanted to scale a business or to do something along those lines, this could be a really wonderful activation for you. Listen to your intuitive nudges. It's Pisces after all, because they'll help you align with whatever your true path is for yourself. And whether it's an inspiring teacher, or maybe even a life-changing trip of some sort, or even just like an epiphany when you're in quiet contemplation with your higher power, whatever that is, it's a moment where you could really shape your destiny or your future in a really profound way. You've got the Devil card. Don't get locked into this, right? So look, you've got the Devil card with the Hierophant card and the Five of Cups. So what do we see here? First of all, the Hierophant is number 5. So you've got 2 5s. 2 5s represents a vigil. Now, I'm going to say this to you. Everyone's got their own. I don't care what your religion or your spiritual belief is, as long as you have one. What I am going to say to you, though, is you may find something that really feels like it resonates with you at a deep level and speaks to you. And because of some prior learning that you've had, or something that you have believed because somebody explained it to you and whatnot, you might rubbish the insights that come through or ignore, whatever is shared with you at this time. And that would be a fucking shame, because the only person that's going to lose out for it is you. This is not a time to be rigid about your belief structures and systems. It's a time really more than anything else to be open and receptive. It could also be that an important sort of, maybe there's a belief that you have of some sort that doesn't stand up to the light, right? That doesn't stand up to the test of time in some way. Just watch out for that, and also be very mindful of learning institutions and or people not necessarily delivering what they need to. All right, so it's just something to keep in mind. Now, as if that wasn't enough, Neptune will come into a conjunction with the Sun on the 20th of the month in that 9th house. It's this is the last time this is going to happen in our lifetimes, because Neptune's going to move into Aries, and then by the time the Sun travels all the way back round to Pisces, Neptune will have come back into Pisces and gone back into Aries. So this is it, right? This is the last Neptune Cazimi in Pisces that we're going to have, certainly in any of our lifetimes. Now, if with that being the case, use this, right? You might feel a surge of inspiration, or, like a soul yearning of some sort to really pursue something that you feel is worth your time and effort. Why? Because the Sun represents your values, or your, like, the things that you attribute worth to. Neptune is that higher mind, or that cosmic connection. And it's also asking you, it's bringing a sense of illumination like that comes through a spiritual vision, right? Or maybe just a vision of the future, and it's helping you find a hopeful energy in your heart that really inspires you to go after something that really for you is truly meaningful. Whether it attributes, to other people, like whether they see the worth in it or not, is irrelevant. That's not what this is about. It's about what is worth it for you, what you feel is really worth pursuing in your life, or just in general. Neptune's energy can be somewhat distorting. It can create illusions. It can see us maybe sometimes as well seeing the most idealistic or the most altruistic sort of version of events that isn't actually there. All right, so just watch out for that. It is a great time for spiritual practices, creative writing, engaging with art or creative endeavors that really inspire you. And the messages that you get right now could really be deeply, very meaningful. And maybe, especially because the North Node is tied up in all of this as well, right? This could be a time where you really you feel like okay, you know what, this is a consequential moment for me. As if all of that wasn't enough, on the 30th of the month, the 31st, 30th of the month, give or take wherever you are in the world, Neptune is going to move into the sign of Aries, into your 10th house. This is the beginning of a brand new chapter in your professional life, in your public presence, how you meet the world, how you show up in the world, how people see and view you. I love this because I have the feeling that some version or energy of yours is emerging in a really powerful way. And that Neptune energy, remember Marilyn Monroe had Neptune on the ascendant. So just think what Neptune could do. It could amplify, because it also acts as a magnifying glass. I've seen Neptune do this a lot, right? In a lot of different people's charts, where it should be like, oh, it's confusion and all the rest of it. It's not always that. A lot of the time, Neptune will act as a magnifying glass. And yes, sometimes that means a distorted sense of what you're looking at, but it is also an amplification of what is there. So watch out for some of the boundaries, all right, like around career. Just, it's going to take some time to kind of navigate. We haven't seen this in our lifetimes. So really and truthfully, this is new territory for all of us. Just think about sort of maintaining your professional sort of relationships and connections. Keep those intact, and also dream big. Oh, excuse me. But anchor those dreams in something that you can really use as an action point. For this, you have the 5 of Wands with the 10 of Cups and the World card, right? This is a moment of mastery. This is a moment where you meet the world in a brand new way. It's also a moment where some kind of conflict or challenge pushes you to make a move that takes you beyond where you're at the moment. I actually really like this. You could be building something on a collaborative level at this time, that you step back for a moment and you look at it and you just think like, fuck me. Like, I'm super, super proud of this. Like, I'm really happy with what I've achieved. And more importantly, I'm really happy with how it's been received by the world. So we love this, right? Could be absolutely wonderful. Now, before we get into your lunations, I do want to mention my tarot course is open for enrollment now. You can get your space. It is time, right? The wait list was open, but at this point you can actually book. There's a link in the description box below. If you want to study with me, it's 12 weeks, 12 live classes. You get live client demo, live client practice. As if that wasn't enough, you also get more PDFs than you'll be able to handle. You get bonus videos, you get quizzes. There's so much good stuff in there. And my past students have all absolutely loved it. As if that wasn't enough, I've heard from so many of you over the years, and they say, Raf, I really want to study tarot with you, but I live halfway across the world. I've got a kid, I've got children, I've got a family. There's no way that I can do that, wake up at ridiculous o'clock in the morning. Or, you know what, I can't commit to that because I work on the days that you are putting this out. No problem. I've got you covered. For the first time ever, you can get my Teach Yourself Tarot course. It's up and out there for your purchasing pleasure. There's a link in the description box below. You study in your own time, at your own pace, you know, as much or as little as you want, and it's just as comprehensive. So with that said, if you are interested in that, check it out. Now, on the 14th of the month, we've got a full moon lunar eclipse, which is a genuine closing, completion, culmination kind of energy. It's also a time potentially for really powerful revelations. This is a third house new moon. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, a third house full moon. And this is happening in your house of communications, learning, your local connections, where you live, as in the area that you live in, not your home. It might bring clarity to a situation involving siblings, neighbours, or even potentially either educational pursuits. Maybe this is the time you say to yourself, you know what, I'm ready to finally study with Raf, right? I'm going to get my tarot under my belt. It may also be that this shows up for you, and especially because it's highlighting that third house, ninth house axis, there's an opportunity to really balance like your practical learning with your big picture thinking. So this might be stuff that really sort of helps you in some way, shape or form. And it could be a powerful conversation that really gets you to understand where you're at with something. Now for this, you've got the gate 54 and ambition. Interesting. Very interesting, right? Well, remember, eclipses always hit you harder, and they will mean, you know, they'll be that much more consequential for you because you are a lunar being, right? Now, I've got a Cancer moon, so I feel lunar transits quite powerfully, certainly on a physical level. Now, for this, you've got the gate 54 and ambition, and this is a money card. This is about really putting plans in place. Third house is a planning house, right? Putting plans in place in order to make more money or to increase your revenue. But you're doing this in a way that feeds into and allows your natural sense of ambition. And ambition is something that people really don't, unfortunately, people don't conflate the sign of Cancer with ambition, which is their mistake, because you guys have got a 10th house, an Aries 10th house. Cancer people are very, very... what's the word that I'm looking for? They're very ambitious, right? And then finally, on the 29th of the month, you've got the new moon solar eclipse. It's the last one, and it's a partial. Sorry, that's in the sign of Aries. That's where that should be. In your 10th house, right? Now, it's a powerful time to set intentions, right? To really set intentions for your future, but you have to let them play out. This is not, right? Remember, whenever we're talking about eclipses, we don't use them for manifesting because they are technically malefic events, right? So this is a time to see how things unfold as opposed to sort of actively manifesting it. And this is why I say to you, like, yes, think about what you want, set intentions, but don't use this energy. Wait to see what unfolds first. In your career, what do you feel like you're ready to let go of? What do you feel like is either part of or no longer a part of your legacy, right? Out in the world, do you know what that looks like for yourself? And for this, you've got the gate 6 and resolve. This may very well be a time where your resolve is literally around strengthening your own career in some way, shape or form. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.